going on, everybody? We are back. It is Monday, June 11th, and after a nice weekend to refresh the batteries, I'm ready to dive in on this sort of lovely, interesting, I'll go with, interesting Monday slate. Jake, how was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Was at a wedding on Friday, and Saturday hung out with some friends, and then Sunday made some money. It was overall a good weekend, and this slate looks pretty good actually. Interesting, I think, is the right word. I think I say that all the time, but a lot of good pitching options. So I want to see the ownership. We probably should have that as we're doing the show, so we'll let you guys know when that pops up.
There you go. Yeah, it should be shortly, so we'll have some generic stuff to talk about in that interim, but we'll be fine. We'll get to it. I promise. Mostly because that stuff means more to me than like my own projections, so
Yeah.
I need it too.
Yeah.
You want to just dive in?
Yeah.
Cool. First game up, Red Sox and Orioles. Red Sox 4.5 run implied total, Orioles 4.2. It's a 53% chance to win for the Sox. Stephen Wright going for Boston, Dylan Bundy going for Baltimore. Oddly enough, I get more Bundy than Wright. Not that I think Wright is any good, but 7,500 for Bundy. It's a scary spot. I don't really like running out a right-hander against the Red Sox, but I think I'm going to end up having a little bit of Bundy. Did you look at him at all?
Yeah. So Bundy is fine for me. He's one of the guys that just in this mid-range on DraftKings, it's like 7K to 8.5K or so. He's one of the guys I really want to see the ownership on because he's had two starts against Boston and they both gone fine. I mean, he didn't get blown up in either, which is tough to do for a righty against Boston. And Bundy's just been really good, striking guys out. If there's no Mookie Betts again, which I don't think he's back tonight, right?
I don't have him in.
Yeah. Okay. I thought he was supposed to be back a couple of days ago.
So did
I saw some, and then I'm not sure what happened. So I must have missed what happened on the weekend.
I mean, I talked about him on Saturday night in the night shift, thinking that he was going to be playing. So.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm not the only one then. He just grades out as one of the best pitchers on my model for this slate. It's just the matchup is really tough. So if you're going to get an ownership discount on Bundy and a really good price for him, I'm going to take some shots on him and probably be over the field depending on what his ownership is.
Fair enough. Yeah, I got 14% of him the first time, so I'm pretty happy there.
Yeah, I like that.
Depending on where his actual ownership comes out, I like it at least. It seems like it'll be good on the surface. I figure he'll be in like the high single digits. Something like 7 or 8 would be my guess.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, I would imagine he's not going to be too popular heading into Boston.
He's at home, but he's...
I just meant like playing Boston.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so we got the ownership updated. Yep, I just got the notification.
Good deal.
What about Stephen Wright? Knuckleballer guy, like you just never know with those guys.
Yeah, I got 3% of him, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have some Stephen Wright as well. And then just because he can miss, like he's shown he can miss bats and go deep, and pitch count isn't a super big issue for knuckleballers because it's not super high stress. I pay attention to catcher splits more with knuckleballers, but he hasn't had a huge sample with any of these catchers. I mean, Vasquez, he's been fine with. Same with Sandy Leone, so I'm not really worried about any of that. And then the Orioles just strike out a ton. So, yeah, they could hit home runs here. So I'm either full stacking. I'm trying to avoid Orioles one-offs just because I don't want to pick the guy that's going to take right deep. It could be anyone 1 through 9. Or it could be 4 of these guys taking him deep, and then you've got you're in business with the Orioles stack. So
Dylan Bundy projected 13% ownership. So I was right on it.
Nice.
I'm not on, however, Carlos Carrasco's 56%.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, we'll talk about him. I don't know what order you want to go in for these games. I don't know when they're up, but that'll be a good talking point just with that kind of ownership on a decent sized slate.
Yeah, I've got another weird one for ownership that we'll get to, but it's more weird on my end than anyone else's, so we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Red Sox bats are popping off for me quite a bit, but only on DK. So on FanDuel, they're my 7th most owned stack. On DK, they're 3rd, and they could easily be 2nd. It must just be like crazy prices. But like even that doesn't look too crazy. Eduardo Nunez really helps. Having the dual eligibility really makes it easier to get to a stack, especially when you have Bogarts at short already. But 3,400 for Nunez, 3,400 for Devers, both on DK. I'm just getting like an overwhelming amount of those guys.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think Nunez has been pretty bad. Just like he hasn't been able to hit, but he's so cheap. And you play for Boston and you're hitting between guys like Moreland and Devers who just have power, and this lineup is pretty deep, so I'm not really worried about having him in there, even if he's been bad.
Ooh, dude, 68 weighted runs created plus.
Okay, yeah, so I look at like overall like league stuff like once a week or so just to like see, okay, who's been bad for the whole season, and I just remember looking him up and being like, wow, he's got some really bad numbers, and I guess it holds true. So
yeah, he's his hard hit rates are fine. I don't see anything like glaring other than he's just not good.
Like it could be a BABIP thing. I mean, he could be getting a little bit unlucky, but 68
300 BABIP, it's not even like
what was he last year?
He had a 112 weighted runs created plus and 500 plate appearances.
If the hard hit stuff is fine, I'm more likely to just sort of write that off and have him regress to the mean, but still pretty concerning for him.
He's got the exact same hard hit percentage as last year.
Wow.
26.7%.
Oof, that's not good.
I mean, he's been 26 like his whole career.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is some sort of like outlier contact year. Oh man, that's bad. Either way, I'm gonna have a ton of Eduardo Nunez. Have I sold you yet, people? Does one of the worst hitters in baseball this year? He might even be the worst. Like of guys qualified for like batting title type shit, he might be the worst. Let's find out. Oh, he's not even close. He's 11th. Jackie Bradley, 10th. Chris Davis, number 1 with a 26 weighted runs created.
Oh my God, he is brutal. Just watching him bat.
153 average, 232 on base, 233 slugging. Dude, they need to do something. They can't play him anymore. You can't be that bad in 224 plate appearances.
I mean, yeah, you'd think so, right? But
the guys that are near him are like guys that aren't supposed to hit, like Alcides Escobar and Billy Hamilton, and then Chris Davis is 1 with a .079 ISO, lower than Billy Hamilton.
That is that's not good.
No. Okay. Anyway, back to this game. I'm gonna have a decent amount of Red Sox on DK, and I get a little bit of one-off stuff for Baltimore. Jace Peterson continues to just be minimum salary as a leadoff hitter for Baltimore, so I'm going to continue to pound him. And then I get a bit of Machado across both sites. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never be mad about playing Machado. So he'd be the one guy I'd consider as like a strong one-off, and then the rest of these guys, it's honestly just guessing whether or not the knuckleball is dancing or not. So that's sort of my take on that.
I need to adjust Jace Peterson right now because I'm projecting, way over the field, so I might as well just get that over with now. All right, there we go. I also don't want 7% Chris Davis on FanDuel, but again, 2,100. At some point in time, he needs to figure out that he's Chris Davis, right?
Oh man, I will be late to that party. He gets excluded every day for me. Like I'm just not going to play hitters that I think are lost.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't
He's
play
lost.
him. All right, we're projecting 8% ownership, so I'm under the field.
Wow.
I'll happily be there. What's going on to chat? Say hey to everyone. Do you have anything else you want to touch on this Red Sox-Orioles game?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay. Kevin Sims, this is going to be a question we can't answer. How do you balance your lineup so you don't lose on the late games? You pick better guys.
Balance your lineup so you don't lose on the late games.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, you be better in who you pick, so you don't lose.
Does he mean like if you're playing both the main slate and the night, like the late slate?
I have no idea. I assume that he is rostering guys at 7 o'clock and sitting in like first place, and then the 10 o'clock games come and he falls.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always like to have guys late, but I have to remember that it doesn't matter what time the game starts.
Yeah.
Like, because I love the late night hammer and stuff, but it's only going to work out if the plays are actually good. You don't just automatically win because you have guys late.
Yeah.
So.
If only that was how it worked.
Yeah.
I'd greatly prefer it.
Yeah.
It would certainly make life easier if I could just roster based on the time the game started. Kevin, elaborate further in the chat if we're not reading that correctly. All right, let's move on to game 2.
Let's do it.
Blue Jays. Blue Jays and the Rays. Blue Jays 4.2 run implied total. I don't know why I capitalized Jays there. That's weird. 51% chance to win for the Rays. Poor run totals here. 4.3 for the Rays, 4.2 for the Jays. Sam Gaviglio going for Toronto. Ryan Yarbrough, I guess, getting like the real start here for Tampa today. Good for them for making it a little bit easier. I am pounding Ryan Yarbrough today, and I don't really know why. Well, I mean, I guess I know why. We're projecting 10% ownership, so as of right now, I'm more than double the field. So I guess, I don't know, eschew the virtues of Ryan Yarbrough, because I think I'm going to be way over the field here.
Yeah, so I actually wish that they weren't starting Yarbrough because he's always way lower owned when he's not actually starting and he just comes in the second inning, but he still goes like 6 or I think he went 7 innings one game out of relief. But he's just been pretty good back-to-back games with a 13% swinging strike rate is impressive to me. And then the Blue Jays are striking out over 24% of the time against left-handed pitching over the last month or so. And Yarbrough just has good swing and miss stuff. He's been pretty efficient as well. And yeah, the Blue Jays have some power, but they do still have a ton of strikeouts like Teoscar and Smoke and Morales and Russell Martin and Grichuk at the bottom. Like they'll definitely let you get some strikeouts. And Yarbrough has the stuff, and he's only 5,600. So I'm right there with you with Yarbrough.
Sweet.
I don't know. We have him pretty low, like for the projected ownership, right?
Yeah, 10%.
Yeah. Yeah, so I will be well over the field. I think Yarbrough's pretty good. He's just super, super underpriced. I'm not really sure why.
Probably because the Rays aren't good. That's my only guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm going to have a bunch of him. I'm totally cool with that. From a bats perspective, though, this game's kind of a wasteland.
I don't, yeah. Like, there's nothing that I really like in this game for bats.
I like Kendrys Morales on FanDuel, 2,500, one-off first baseman. He's a lot better against lefties than righties, so I think this spot fits him pretty well.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Let's see, do we have any ownership on him? No, we're projecting 8% ownership, so I'm right on him regardless.
Okay.
I have a lot of Daniel Robertson on FanDuel as a one-off leadoff hitter, shortstop. I don't necessarily think that's the best play in the world, but he's there as an option. What are we projecting? Yeah, all right, we're projecting 13% ownership there. So, like, again, I guess I'm on that.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about Gaviglio quick.
Yeah, I
Or
only got 4%
Gaviglio.
of him, so let's hear
So
it.
we have him projected for pretty low ownership, and it might go up as the day goes on. But he's impressed in his last 4 starts. He's going at least 6 innings in his last 3, and then he's got at least 4 Ks in all of them. But the swinging strike stuff looks good, and then his chase rate looks really good. And the Rays are top 5 in O swing percentage over the last month. So I think Gaviglio is pretty talented. It's a big park, and he's probably going to get 5, maybe 6 righties in this lineup for Tampa Bay, and I'm not really scared of anyone. Like Cron and Wilson Ramos have some power against righties, but they're much better against lefties. So I think Gaviglio could get you 20 plus DK points here pretty easily, especially with that slider that he's throwing. It's getting a lot of whiffs. So a lot of righties is the recipe for a good start for Gaviglio.
I updated all my Steamer stuff this morning. The Rays lineup today does not have anyone over 100 in weighted runs created plus.
Yeah,
That's
so
some kind of terrible.
very, very below average lineup.
Yeah.
Guys you've never even really heard of, like Bowers and, Malik Smith you've heard of, but he can't really hit. Johnny Field. It's just not a good lineup, and Gaviglio has been a lot better against good lineups like the Yankees, and he had another good start against a team that we respect as well. So
I feel like the Rays lineup is just the same guy putting on a different jersey over and over again with like random names on the back.
Yeah, it's really bad. I don't know what else to say. Like they're just pretty garbage team.
Yeah, for me it's just Ryan Yarbrough and like a smattering of Gaviglio.
Okay.
Giants and Marlins. Giants 4.4 run implied total. Marlins 3.3. It's a 63% chance to win for the Giants. Madison Bumgarner going for San Francisco. Wei and Chen going for Miami. I've got a ton of Bumgarner. That should come as no real surprise. We're projecting him as basically the second highest owned pitcher on DK and the second highest owned pitcher on FanDuel, well behind Carrasco. But I'm going to have quite a bit of Bumgarner. As of right now, I'm slightly over the field on DK and a decent amount over the field on FanDuel. I just love him here. It's hard not to. The Marlins are not a great hitting team. 85 weighted runs created plus this season against lefties. 351 slugging, way below average. 118 ISO, way below average. They don't even have the hard hits to back it up. Bumgarner's just in a really, really, really nice spot.
Yeah, I think it's a fine spot for Bumgarner. I'm more on the fade Bumgarner train right now, at least. Like he had a fine start in his first start back. Only threw 82 pitches, so like 90 to 95 is probably the cap here. Probably won't get to 100, which he doesn't really need. You don't really need to get to 100 against the Marlins, especially if you're being efficient with your pitches and stuff. And this lineup isn't really that scary, but the top 3 all have solid numbers against lefties. Outside of them, it's not really that impressive of a lineup, but Castro and Anderson and Real Muto, if you just look at their numbers against lefties, they're pretty good. So that's why I'm sort of off of Bumgarner, just with the ownership there. It's not the greatest strikeout matchup in the world, and I think it'll be a little bit overowned for me.
Yeah, I only have Bumgarner projected for 6.5 Ks, but that's still third best of the day. Carrasco is just so far above the field for it. It's crazy. What do you think about Giants bats? They're my number 3 stack on FanDuel right now. We're projecting them with pretty decent ownership on DK too. The first 4 in particular, Hernandez, Posey, McCutchen, Longoria. I mean, I'm getting an absolute ton of them.
Yeah, me too. So Wei and Chen, if you just look at his xFIP, he's awful. 6.84 xFIP against righties. One of the worst rates in the MLB for any pitcher. Not as bad as Lucas Giolito against lefties, but almost as bad. So he's just gives up home run after home run after home run, just hard hits to righties all across the board. And especially Posey, McCutchen, and Longoria, 45% hard hit rates against lefties for all those guys this year. Like you can full stack the Giants. It's not a great hitter's park, and I'm assuming the roof will be closed. But really love two through four, and I don't mind Yorkies or Mac Williamson either if you want to full stack it.
Yeah, I get a lot of Williamson on FanDuel, not as much on DK at the $3,600 price point. Everybody's just so cheap on the Giants. Like Posey's $2,900 on FanDuel, Longoria's $2,600, McCutchen's only $3,000. They're going to be super, super popular for me on FanDuel and basically allow me to do whatever I want. I'll have a lot of Giants with like high-end one-offs and big-time pitching, whether that's Bumgarner, Carrasco, or Corbin.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I don't love Bumgarner, but
sure,
I get why people want. Like, I get why you want to play him. It makes sense. He'll probably be the one guy up top that gets squeezed out for me between Corbin, Bumgarner, and Carrasco.
Yeah, DFS Lil Monster 609 in the chat, which is something that I just love saying out loud. Would you guys rather play Bumgarner over Corbin? I would. Jake wouldn't. So
yeah, it's close.
Hash that out in your own head, however you'd like.
Yeah, it's close, but I wouldn't. I'd play Corbin.
If we're projecting Bumgarner at 25 and Corbin at 17, then I definitely like Bumgarner more. If that gap increases, then I could be talked into something else.
Okay.
Morning, Dan C. Yeah, this game's not that entertaining, so let's move on.
Let's do it.
I'm interested to hear your thoughts here because I'm way different than the field. Cubs and Brewers. Cubs 4.4 run implied total. Brewers 4.1. It's a 54% chance to win for the Cubs. Jose Quintana going for Chicago. Junior Guerra going for Milwaukee. I get a ton of Quintana, and that's usually something that happens for me. We've got him at 21%. I've got him at 28. I'm perfectly happy there. We've got him at 6% on FanDuel. I've got 18. I'll probably dial that back just slightly, but I love Quintana today. He's actually got my third highest overall DK projection, just behind Carrasco and Bumgarner. Well behind Carrasco, just behind Bumgarner. But I actually have Quintana ahead of Corbin.
Interesting. Yeah, I won't. I'll actually have probably very, very little Quintana, if any at all. And that's just because, so the Brewers have these bad numbers against lefties for the season, but I don't really think they should if you just look at all the guys they have on their team. So Brian Braun, when he's in the lineup against the lefty, is pretty much an auto play for me. I'll always force in exposure to him.
Yeah.
Low Kane, kind of the same deal. Doesn't strike out, hits him hard. Got a 261 ISO. Aguilar, 361 ISO, 44% hard hit rate. And he's not even striking out that much against lefties. VR hits lefties hard. Even Yelich hits lefties hard. So it doesn't really add up for me. And if Quintana's going to be as owned as we have him owned, in the 20% or so, then I want a Brewers stack actually against Quintana. He's allowing over 40% hard contact to righties, and he's basically going to get all righties besides Shaw and Yelich. And those two guys can hit lefties as well. So I just think it's a pretty bad matchup for Quintana, and the Brewers stack is going to be underowned.
Yeah. I mean, I get the idea of fading him because I don't think that it's not like the Brewers' run total is 3.1 or something. I mean, It's a relatively close game, so I don't hate that idea. I just don't love their pricing all that much.
Yeah, they're going to be super low owned, so I'm just like licking my chops, just getting a low owned Brewers team that they have guys that individually crush lefties, but they kind of haven't put it all together as a team. And I think it's kind of like the Red Sox thing where they started out the season and they were bad against lefties, and it shouldn't be the case. So kind of what I'm banking on with Milwaukee. And They're still like bottom 5 in WRC plus against lefties.
Yeah.
But let's see, like over the last 30 days, they are. Let's see. Oh, where are they? Oh, 11th. So they've got a 110 WRC plus against lefties over the last 30 days. So they've bounced back a little bit and not striking out as much. So I like the Brewers a lot.
Okay, so here's where I'm weird. I've got the Cubs as my number 2 stack on both sites, and we're not even remotely close to that in ownership. Like, they're probably like 8th or 9th in total ownership, and I am just absolutely pounding them. I'm like 2 or 3 times the field on most guys. I've got 19% Zobrist. We're projecting 1, which feels odd. Everything's in like the 3, 4, 5% range for these guys, and I'm in the 18, 19, 20 plus. So am I crazy? Because I think the prices of the Cubs are way too low, and I'm absolutely mashing these dudes today.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Cubs stack. I'm surprised we have them so low owned. Especially like Jason Hayward, Zobrist, 4,200. Is Chris Bryant leading off now?
Chris Bryant is projected to lead off, and he's 4,400 on FanDuel. I should roster him in 100% of lines at that rate.
I mean,
I don't really mean that, but like for real, that's crazy.
Guerra, he's got the ability to strike guys out at times. Like you'll see every now and then he'll pop up with like an 8 or 9 strikeout game, but I don't really think it's going to be here. And if the Cubs are going to be putting balls in play, Guerra gives up a lot of hard contact to both sides, 43% to righties, 40% to lefties. Those are well above average, and the Cubs just have a lot of good hitters in their lineup, especially 1 through 6 and even 1 through 7, because Javi Baez has been he started off the season as one of the best hitters. I don't know if he's still there, but I even like Happ in the 8 spot. So yeah. I'm with you here more than what we have him owned. So I'm kind of excited about this game in general. Just kind of want to roster bats all over the place.
Yeah, the amount of Cubs that I'm going to have in relationship to the field is aggressive. I'll be like 2.5 to 3 times most of those guys. I just don't see why I wouldn't.
No, I'm going to be... If this ownership holds up and, what do we have for, like, Chris Bryant?
7. That's
wow.
not possible, right?
I'd be completely opposite with like how they have the hitters and pitchers owned in this game.
Right.
I would have like 20% Cubs stacks before I had 20% Quintana, and Contreras, Schwarber, Chris Bryant, Happ. Yeah, this is a fun stack for me. This is a fun game. I'll have a bunch of game stacks of this.
I can't imagine Chris Bryant being 7% owned. Leading off.
He's under 5K on DraftKings. I don't know. Has he been in a slump? Like what?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because I haven't.
I mean, he's got a 144 weighted runs created plus, a 402 on base, and a 500 slugging. So,
not slumping.
I mean, I don't.
That's weird. So,
I love the Cubs. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them.
I'm right there with you.
Good.
So.
It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Bill Butlicker, I have no idea why you didn't get the notification until 23 minutes after we started. Can't control it.
Follow Twitter. I mean, I got it right away. So
yeah,
it could have been something with your Wi-Fi, maybe, or your cell service. DJ Killer Kev just bought a 27-inch Mac desktop. That's exactly the one I have, and it is life-changing. So the ownership will hold up if you stop talking about them now. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, Brewers, Cubs, they're fine. No, I love them. So I don't think I have that big of a reach on the industry ownership. But
oh, wow, Tommy John.
No. Oh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you there, but...
What? Dude, that sucks.
I don't know. Where's Derek Lowe in the chat seeing this? Because I'm not even seeing it on Twitter. It's not on ESPN.
Oh yeah, he is. I just. Oh god.
Out until 2020. What the fuck happened to 2019?
I mean, are they just holding him out for another season? Are they just saying that?
Where are you seeing it anywhere?
Yeah.
Where?
Craig Calcaterra.
Oh,
This guy is a
I know who he is.
baseball writer. Yeah. Oh, that sucks.
Man, that's a bummer.
Yeah, that's not good.
Ew.
Pedro Gomez of ESPN's hearing that surgery. Rather, yeah, that sucks. Wow, it's too bad. Hopefully, he can come back stronger and whatnot. But
Yeah, that's a bummer, man.
at least he already got paid. Not that he doesn't want to play, but right, he got a huge contract. So
Yeah. Ugh. That
You'll be set.
Sucks.
yeah,
Huh. Okay. Well,
he's so
we enjoyed
exciting.
talking about Ohtani for the past 2 months.
Yeah.
Jake, when we're still doing this in April of 2020, it'll be really exciting to roster him.
I know, it'll be like, remember how sad we were when the DK Live app reported that Ohtani was out until 2020? God, he was so exciting to roster for the first couple months, especially those first few starts when people weren't really on him. And that's no fun.
It's just a bummer.
I know.
Ooh, okay. So the CBS Sports Report says he probably needs Tommy John.
Okay.
The Angels are holding out hope that he doesn't have it.
Okay. So maybe not as bad. Keep the expectations low. I hope they don't rush him back though. Like if he needs it, like don't mess with that kind of talent. Like
they're reevaluating him in 3 weeks after rehab. He got PRP and stem cell injections, and they did. They rehabbed Garrett Richards 2 years ago with PRP and stem cell, and he was able to avoid the Tommy John surgery. So I guess it's not necessarily happening yet, but we'll know a little bit more in 3 weeks. They're not confident.
Well, at least there's some hope.
Yeah. So in summary, after Ohtani just took over the live stream, Jake and I love the Cubs, and we appear to be in the minority. So try to use some invisible ink or something on that Spotlight Hitters and Stacks article that I wrote where I said the Cubs were my number 2 stack. Let's not popularize that one. Share it to your friends, but don't share it publicly. God, when the Cubs get shut out tonight, I'm going to look like such an asshole.
Same with the Brewers for me.
Yeah, there you go. Now we're going to talk about the number 1 stack by far.
Yeah.
Indians, 5.3 run implied total. White Sox, 3.7. 67% chance to win for the Indians. Carlos Carrasco going for Cleveland. Luke Giolito going for Chicago. And this is like the chalk Super Bowl today because Carlos Carrasco is projected to be owned in like 50% of lineups on DK. The entire 1 through 8 portion of the Indians lineup is going to be the chalkiest chalk that's ever chalked. They are by far the number 1 stack on both sites. They have an implied total of 5.3, which is 0.7 of a run higher than the next closest team right now. All signs point to Cleveland just being everything today. So I get it. Giolito is not good, which bums me out a lot. I want like young pitchers to be good, but yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of the Indians.
So yeah, Giolito just doesn't have it figured out yet. Whatever it is, he's a little bit broken. It looks like 7.42 walks per 9 to lefties, 756 xFIP. Hard hit isn't awful, but dude, this Indians lineup should just demolish him, or at the very least taunt him on the base paths because he's given up 12 stolen bases this year. You got Lindor, you've got Jose Ramirez who have speed. Those are my probably my favorite plays on the slate if you don't take ownership into account. And I don't even think that if they're going to be under 20%, I think they're by far my favorite stack. And I thought we'd see like 25, 30% on them, but I'm not really seeing that yet. So I still love the Indians. They're my number one stack. Even with that ownership, I think they can just obliterate Lucas Giolito here. It's really 1 through 9, but so my two favorites are Lindor and Ramirez, but Brantley not far behind. I love Chisenhall in the 8 spot for 2,900 as well.
Same. Yeah, they're just in such a great spot because of their position structure. Like Lindor leading off as a shortstop, amazing. Jose Ramirez as a third baseman, amazing. If you don't want to pay up for Encarnacion, you've got another dope first base option in Alonso. Like Kipnis as a second baseman at 3,400 is a really, really nice price as part of this stack in a lefty-righty matchup. Yan Gomes as a catcher, only 3,300, fills out that position perfectly today. Like, their weakness is essentially outfield, which is like the easiest way to fill in a lineup on the board. So it makes it so easy to have the Indians plus whatever you want that grades out really well. And like that's why I'm going to have an overwhelming amount of them.
Yeah, they're just... I mean, I don't even know if we need to talk about them that much. They're going to be the chalkiest stack of the day. But 25% and 15% makes a little bit of a difference for me. So
yeah,
ownership is going to be important here. I mean, they are clearly the number one stack, and there's no doubt about that for me. I don't think anybody comes close to touching them, but
no.
It's baseball, and you see it sometimes where they rock the starting pitcher, they score 6 runs in the first inning, and then they get shut down for the rest of the game. That could happen here, or guys get pulled or whatever. And I mean, who knows? It's baseball, so you don't have to put all your eggs in the Indians' basket. But if I was putting all my eggs in one basket, it would be the Indians.
Agreed. I'll be way under the field on Carrasco. There's no way I'm getting up to like 56% or 42 on FanDuel. But I mean, I see why he's the number one starter. I've got him projected for 8.6 Ks. I mean, it's like by far the highest potential total. 4 points ahead of Madison Bumgarner for second. He's the only pitcher projected in the 40s for FanDuel for me. I mean, I can't imagine not wanting to go there. It's basically Jose Abreu and like Moncada, I guess, and then nobody else.
Right. It's just he's just got so much upside, right? And he's got the slate winning upside, which I'm really scared to fade.
Yeah. Even
at 56%, because if you fade him and he gets 35, and Bumgarner and Corbin don't, you're buried. You're not winning anything if Carrasco has one of his double-digit strikeout games, and I think he's got a pretty good chance at doing that. The White Sox are striking out a bunch over against right-handed pitchers over the last month and even for the entire year. And Carrasco's swinging strike rate looks great. His whiff rate looks great. And the White Sox lineup is pretty awful near the bottom. Adam Engel, Trace Thompson, Charlie Tilson, Tim Anderson against right. He's going to strike out a ton. It's just, man.
Engel,
it's just so hard.
and Thompson all have weighted runs created plus from Steamer in the 60s.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they just whiff. And if Carrasco's on here, I don't see how he doesn't get 10 Ks. Even if he goes like 6 innings.
Tom says 56% is in mid stakes. Low stakes will be in the 40s.
Oh, yeah. That's fantastic. I'll be over the field then.
You'll be over the field?
Like in the $1 or whatever, the
yeah.
mini max? Yeah, I'd be over the field.
Interesting. Okay.
I just think he's got such a good chance of being a top 2 pitcher that you're kind of going to need him.
Sure. I mean, yeah, hopefully Alex has that sort of article today.
Yeah, perfect pitcher.
Because, I mean, he looks great. I need to start running those calculations on my end so I have it.
Do you like Do you like any White Sox hitter? I mean, you know the one guy that I'll have,
Abreu.
Moncada.
Oh, okay.
But,
yeah,
I mean,
sure.
yeah, so if I don't have Carrasco, I'm not going 100% on him. But if I don't have Carrasco, it would be Moncada as the leverage bat. Just so good against righties.
I have zero White Sox.
Okay.
I'm not going to go that direction. Yeah, it's all Indians. They're chalky chalk.
Yep.
Alrighty. This one's fun. Padres and Cardinals. Padres, 3.4 run implied total. Cardinals, 4.6. It's a 64% chance to win for the Cardinals. Jordan Lyles going for San Diego. Jack Flaherty going for St. Louis. Flaherty looks good here. $8,300 price point on DK, $7,700 on FanDuel. I've got a decent amount of ownership for him. We're projecting 25, which is quite a bit. I'm right in line with the field on him on DK and FanDuel, and I'm fine with that. He looks like a really great, like, mid-tier option today.
Yeah, Flaherty, I think, makes for an awesome play. The ownership is a bit worrisome, but I think I'll be different because I won't have a lot of the guys that are around him. I won't have Quintana a lot. I won't have Bumgarner a lot. So Flaherty will be my way to get exposure in that ownership group. Just one of the best matchups of the night. 3.7 run total for the Padres, even in 90-degree weather. So a lot of respect for Flaherty by Vegas. 31.4% K rate for Flaherty against righties, xFIP under 3. And then the Padres are going to roll out 5-6 lefties probably, or 6 righties. And they're just not intimidating at all. I don't know. I mean, he seems kind of underpriced as well. I don't really get the pitcher pricing today.
Yeah, it's weird. Everything just feels like a little off. I can't really wrap my head around it.
It seems like everyone's like 90% of what their price should be. It's just really soft pricing today is what I'm trying to say.
Except for Corbin.
Yeah.
It's like Corbin took all that extra money from everybody else.
I guess so.
Cardinals. 5th most owned stack for me on both sites. I think they're going to end up being my secondary. And it's mostly just 3 guys. Carpenter, Pham, and Ozuna. You liking those guys at all?
I like Carpenter and Fowler a ton. And that's going to be popular just because they're... So those are 2 guys that I don't get their prices either. 3,300 against Lyles, who hasn't been good against lefties. I thought the Cardinals might emerge as the second highest owned stack last night when I was looking at this, just because of their run total.
Yeah, where do we have?
But if they're, yeah,
they're third.
I mean, okay.
I'm behind on them compared to the field, I guess.
Yeah, I don't love the righties here against Lyles, who's been pretty good against righties, but as the 3rd highest owned stack, I think that they're okay. Like, I'm just not in love with them. I just like the Brewers. I like the Cubs. So they'll be mixed in there, but I won't have a lot of full 5-man Cardinal stacks with Ozuna and Martinez and Pham and Yadi Molina. So it'll mostly be Fowler and Carpenter for me.
Okay. Yeah, Ozuna just grading out really well. 3,400 on FanDuel, 3,800 on DK. I think that's a really nice price point for a cleanup hitter. We're projecting 12%, so it looks like Ozuna is going to be a guy that'll have a lot of weight in my night.
Yeah.
DFS Little Monster. It's a Kings hat. Probably wouldn't have guessed that. All right, let's move on. 2 games left. Or do you have more here?
No, I was looking at your hat.
Yeah. It's a great hat. Pirates and D-backs. Pirates, 3.6 run implied total. Diamondbacks, 4.3. It's a 58% chance to win for the Diamondbacks. Joe Musgrove going for Pittsburgh. Pat Corbin going for Arizona. All right, here's the one that's weird. I am getting 20+% Joe Musgrove. We're projecting him for 2.
So, interesting. Why are you getting? That doesn't really add up. With, yeah, I guess that's why it's weird.
Right.
So I didn't think you'd be on Musgrove. I'm not really on Musgrove. The Diamondbacks have actually been a lot better against righties as of late, especially the last couple weeks after being just atrocious for the first 2 months. So I don't think it's like a perfect matchup for Musgrove. In fact, I think it's kind of a bad one based on how Arizona's hitting right now. And their numbers got a bump because of Coors Field, but still the highest WRC plus over the last 2 weeks against righties for Arizona. Not striking out as much, and Musgrove's giving up a bunch of hard contact to lefties, which is concerning. So I'm actually on some Arizona bats, Lamb, Descalso, Peralta, and then Goldschmidt.
Okay. Yeah, I've got Lamb on FanDuel because he's only 3,100, and that's just insane. But no Diamondbacks bats for me. Barely, no Pirates bats, really. It's seriously just oodles and oodles of Musgrove, and I can't figure out why. I think it's just an ownership thing. Look, I'm not going to have him at 23%, particularly if we're projecting 2. I'll have him at like 12. He projects so well in Steamer. 3.71 FIP, a 2.3 walk rate, 8.3 Ks per 9. Like, everything grades out really well there. The Diamondbacks bats are okay, I guess. Like, Goldschmidt's obviously a guy that I'm nervous about. Lamb grades out as average. Peralta grades out as average. But, like, John Jay is bad. Descalso's bad. Like, just in general.
Whoa, Descalso.
82
Come on,
weighted runs created plus in Steamer.
Against righties?
No, like, as his, like, talent.
Yeah. He's got a 246 ISO, 40% hard hit rate, 397 on base percentage against righties. Descalso's pretty good. I'm a Descalso
truther. He's been good this year. I'll give you that.
This year, and towards the end of last year.
Yeah. So look, he's got a 132 weighted runs created plus this season. It's the only time he's ever been above 90. So I guess I'm taking a bigger look at like the everything he's ever done before today.
When he was in Colorado, he was hitting in Coors Field and he wasn't anything special, but
no. So
he's a much better hitter.
I don't know how to wrap my head around that. Anyway, he grades out really poorly for me, so that's one thing. I don't know. I'm going to have so much Musgrove, it's insane.
I don't mind the Musgrove play.
Probably not at 25% or whatever the shit I have him at.
Well, yeah, it doesn't take much to get over the field with him if he's going to be 2%. So he's Musgrove's more of my kind of play than yours. So I'm surprised to hear you say that, since I wasn't really on him, just because he's got a good swinging strike rate and he's had a couple decent starts and swing percentage and all that. But I just prefer guys that are cheaper than him, like Flaherty, like Gaviglio, and then I'm surprised. I'm just surprised you're on him. So.
Dude, so am I. I can't really figure it out.
What about Corbin?
I got 6% Corbin on DK. We've got him at 17. I got 3% on FanDuel. We've got him at 12. By all accounts, I'll be under on Corbin.
Yeah. If you look
I don't mind him because he's got upside, but
yeah,
I don't like that price.
Like, his season numbers grade out as he's the best pitcher on the slate. For me, for my model, but as of late, I sort of had to like temper expectations for him and kind of manually go in and change some stuff. He's got a 13.8% swinging strike rate on the season, striking out just a ton of hitters, especially in his first few starts. So he's not that guy, but his velocity was up in his last start, which I like to see. Not quite. It's not as high as it was like a month ago or a month and a half ago, but still pretty decent. Still missing bats, and the Pirates are a pretty good matchup. So I don't know. I like Corbin. He's for sure overpriced, but I don't think salary is going to be a huge issue tonight.
So I believe right now that we have a quarter jukebox winner in our midst.
Quarter jukebox. Where?
Yeah. I just say shark, but SHRK in the chat said sup people. Got tagged.
Oh
Got
yeah, I
tagged
did get tagged in that.
in the tweet today. First
Hell
to
yeah,
win
one
the
lineup.
quarter jukebox.
One lineup, you took that quarter jukebox. How many people was in that? 23,000? That's
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
It's a big win.
That's awesome.
So congrats. We'll have a chat about taking that down. Get you on the live stream for a little bit in the near future.
Yeah,
Congrats. That's exciting.
that's pretty awesome.
You bested me. I had a second last week or 2 weeks ago. So best I can do.
That's a pretty clean screenshot. I've only had a few of those where you get first in like 6 different tournaments.
227.5 is a big score.
Yeah, I think the best I had was 215 or something yesterday. I saw a 230 in like the $8 rally cap, that was just nuts. Like,
Yeah. So, kudos. Congrats.
let's see.
See, this could have been. I don't deserve credit since Jake gave some good articles yesterday. Just be happy that we flip-flopped our days off. Otherwise, you might have lost.
Yeah, I was really on the Blue Jays yesterday, so that worked out really well. Yeah, Blue Jays, Paxton, Estrada I was on, so yeah. If you followed those articles, you probably did pretty well.
I think I liked Estrada in the night shift, but I'll be honest. I was super tired Saturday night. I don't remember anything that I said.
Yeah, Estrada was just a good play. I mean, risky, but he was a good play for sure.
The only thing that I was worried about Saturday night was the rest of the UFC pay-per-view. Final game, Angels and Mariners. Angels 4.1 run implied total, Mariners 3.9. It's a 53% chance to win for the Angels. Andrew Heaney going for the Angels. Wade LeBlanc going for Seattle. I don't really get to either of these guys, although now that I've pulled some of that ownership from Musgrove, I expect to get a little bit more Heaney. Just at that price point, it'll be a decent transition. We're projecting 7% ownership on Heaney. I think I'll get somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't know. For me, this is more about the top of the Angels lineup. But are you looking at Heaney?
Heaney, I mean, I get the play. 9,100, probably a little bit overpriced. Not a great strikeout matchup, but he's been really good in other not good strikeout matchups. Just threw a complete game against Kansas City with only 4 strikeouts, but the swinging strike rate was up there. He's had a start against Houston where he went 8 innings, 10 strikeouts. He's had a start against the Yankees, 5 innings, 9 strikeouts. So he has the like you could see a path where he gets 7 or 8 strikeouts here against Seattle, and he's just like in the midst of a breakout season. So I don't mind playing Heaney at low ownership. He's not going to be someone that I'm all in on. I like guys that are cheaper than him, but I'll have a little bit of Heaney now that I'm looking at this a little more. I'm really only scared of Haniger and Nelson Cruz against him, but no Wade LeBlanc for me. I think that Angels bats will be somewhat owned here.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised on the Angels. They're relatively low outside of the 3 guys that I'm about to talk about. But I get a ton of Kinsler, Trout, Upton, Pujols. Like, that's just where I'm at. I get some Cozart on FanDuel because of the price point and the shortstop eligibility. So, like, the Angels aren't a team where I'm going the whole way. But those first 5, I can't imagine not having some combination of them. Kinsler and Trout in particular. Well, Trout in particular, but I mean, that's not news.
Yeah, Trout against the lefty. Although, doesn't he hit righties better for his career?
I have no idea. Let's find out.
I think he did last year. I don't know. It might be a mirage, but
9. If they get 9 righties, like, it's hard to not go somewhere in that direction.
right. That's kind of what I said yesterday on the night shift. Is that Wade LeBlanc, while not someone I want to play, he's not necessarily my favorite pitcher either to stack against because he just does a good job at kind of getting soft contact, and he's just kind of a pest there when you're stacking against him. So can strike out some righties. like the bottom of that lineup isn't great for the Angels. Maldonado's hitting lefties a lot better lately, which I like to see. Decent punt catcher option or addition to the stack if you're going with Cozart and Upton and Trout and Kinsler. So I don't mind the Angels stack, but I thought it would be more chalky than what I'm seeing on our ownership projections. So a little bit more on them than I thought it was going to be.
Trout versus lefties in his career, 164 weighted runs created plus versus righties, 172. So yes, he has been better against righties, but
so even splits.
He's just a Hall of Famer no matter who he's hitting against.
Yep.
Jeffrey Lanier, is it possible to go back to Boston, Baltimore? Just caught the Cleveland White Sox chat. You'll be able to see that stuff once the video is officially posted. You might even be able to scrub back to it right now.
I don't know if you can do that. I think I've tried to do that on some live streams.
I have no idea, but either way, it'll be there shortly. You'll have plenty of time to get there before the 7 o'clock lock.
Cash game pitcher, Carrasco.
Yeah,
he would be the first guy I'd plug in. So much strikeout upside.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it almost has to be Carrasco or Bumgarner. I mean, I know you don't like Bumgarner, but like those are the two kind of like cash game options.
I think Bumgarner's pretty safe. I'm just a little bit worried about his upside.
Yeah, I get that. Those will be the two, though, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. Does anybody have any questions they want to get in? Because we're through this slate. I like these like tiny-ish Monday slates.
Oh, 8 games is like the sweet spot.
Yeah.
In terms of like research, I feel like I can do a little bit of a deeper dive on everything before we get on and talk.
Well, like I'm coming back off the weekend, and I'm not like, I don't want to say that I'm not focused, but like I want to like ease my way back into everything that I'm doing.
Agreed.
So 8 is perfect. When I woke up, I was like, oh, please don't be 15. I don't want to really load up the sheet with 15 games and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, this'll work.
Yeah. And then Thursday, kind of the same thing. You get the midweek after a couple full slates on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then go and get 10 on Thursday. It's a nice little break.
Lamb ownership projection. I guess I'll do that.
If you get
10%.
If you get premium, you can check this and every other player by yourself.
FanDuel 22%. You're welcome.
Giving away freebies this morning. Very generous.
It's a good morning.
That is.
Why not? Got 110 people in the chat on a Monday watching us, so I'm happy to hand out nice things.
Yeah.
Jake and I are like Santa Claus today, giving out gifts. I hope you've been nice, because if you've been naughty, I'm gonna give you the wrong numbers. I fucking know what I'm saying. What's the difference in picking players between GPP and cash? Isn't the goal to get the highest score no matter what? It is. I don't know the best way to talk about this.
The best way, I don't know, and it's like the most cliche way. You're looking for floor in cash. You're looking for safe points.
Yeah.
People in general, I think, pay up for pitching more in cash, which is fine, but that's not to say you can't take like a Yarbrough if you love your bats. I think that Carrasco would be a clear cash pitcher for me if I was playing, but I don't really play a ton of cash, so I can't be too strong with my conviction there.
Like, you're not trying in cash. There's no, like, let's say you're playing a 50-50, for example. There's no difference if you score 150 points or 220 points. Like, being over the cut line is being over the cut line. So if you're taking like a 3% owned pitcher or something like that, and he busts, like, you're going to be in trouble. You kind of want to stay with the group, differentiate slightly. You don't need to take flyers on like 1% guys, 2% guys. You want to have guys that are relatively owned. I mean, you don't want to just go, chalk straight down the line. But
I mean, you can.
Yeah, you can. Right. You for sure. And in baseball, it's a little bit different than in basketball because ownership doesn't get to like, you don't have multiple guys in like the 60s and 70s and stuff where chalk kind of changes the equation. When you're in the 20s, like, you're going to get something unique. But like if you're trying to run out guys that are like 2%, that's a really risky proposition in a GPP.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Just play the best plays and don't really worry about ownership and let others make mistakes.
Right.
Let others play the 3% guys, because there will be people that do it. But if you can sort of scope out the couple best plays at each position, then you're going to be in good shape.
Agreed. Yes, Indians are going to be extra chalky today. Yarborough as an SP2. Jake and I both love him. Makad said Dirty Dicks is arriving today. Very excited. I'm excited for you. Great hot sauce.
Dirty Dicks?
Dirty Dicks hot sauce, yes. Obviously, Jake is not a fan of the show Hot Ones.
No, never heard of it.
Really? Do you like hot food or like hot sauce or anything?
Sure, yeah.
You should watch Hot Ones. YouTube show. It's an interview show where the host and the guest eat 10 hot wings and they get progressively hotter. Really good, unique style, and like it's like pretty high-end celebrities from time to time. Like Charlize Theron has done it. Like Tyra Banks did it last season. Johnny Knoxville was the first episode of this season. Yeah, you should check it out. They're fun.
I'll have to give it a view.
Yeah, they're like 15, 20 minutes, so like you get in and out real quick. And they ask, it's not generally generic questions, like it's usually really interesting shit. If you're familiar with Trick Daddy at all, I highly recommend the Trick Daddy episode because he's ridiculous. John Cantalupo, why is Guerra only 5% owned? His numbers versus the current Cubs are amazing. We're not a BVP group here. We actually, Jake and I personally love the Cubs tonight, so
yeah,
gonna have a ton of them.
Yeah, no BVP. I mean, to an extent, I will look at it, but it's never like one of the first 10 things I'm looking at when looking to play someone. And it usually lines up with what type of pitches the guy hits well, or the type of fastball he throws, or something like that. So it's just a lot of things. There's a lot of confounding variables in BVP, so I wouldn't take that at face value.
I completely agree.
You have the crunches?
Yeah, let's look at crunches. Whoa, I totally forgot.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were about to end the show.
I really was about to.
Might get in trouble.
I seriously was. All right, give me two pitchers.
Let's go Carrasco, Bumgarner. I'm sure you could make some decent lineups with that.
All right, I got 3 of them in the first 100, so that's good to know.
You can go Carrasco, Bumgarner with the Indians. Oh man.
Jace Peterson, Gorkys Hernandez, and Starling Marte. So like you can massage that pretty well too. If Marte's at 4,100 and Gorkys is at 3,500, like you can get
Brantley. You can for sure get Brantley in there, and take out Kipnis and take out Marte.
Let's do that. Let's get Brantley in for Gorkys or Marte.
Marte.
Okay.
Let's try that.
All right, let me get Kipnis out.
Yeah.
And we'll put in who's the cheapest second baseman I can put in as a placeholder for right now.
Go Castro. Oh wait, never mind. We're playing Bumgarner.
Wong.
Yeah.
Can I get to Brantley now? Okay, so now I can get to Brantley. So best second baseman I can get to is either Peterson or Travis.
I mean,
let's switch to Peterson and see if I can get a better third base option.
Okay.
I can't. It's basically Miguel Rojas.
You could take out Yorkies, and I'm sure there's another punt.
Dexter Fowler.
Yeah. Fowler in there. That's
Jared
great.
Dyson's not bad. Let's put Fowler in.
No, you could probably get to...
It's not letting me put Fowler in for some strange reason.
Well, I mean, they get the idea.
Oh, there we go. Got it. Can I get any better than
Rojas? You can
go to Peterson at second and Matt Duffy, David Freese.
Freese isn't even a bad play against Corbin. I mean, just to get that lineup looking different. Full Indian stack with Carrasco and Bumgarner. That's kind of nuts.
That's a nice line. It's a real
should
nice line.
Should we try like Carrasco Yarborough? You're gonna love.
Oh man, if we could do Carrasco and Bumgarner, Jesus! Imagine the lines we just had plus like Trout, 2 other stud bats. So there's Cubs, Rizzo, Bryant, Hayward, Schwarber, Happ with Lindor, Carpenter, and Posey.
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, just super soft pricing by DK. There's no getting around it.
Yeah. McCutchen, Ozuna, and Eduardo Nunez in that lineup with the Indians stack. Yeah, it's tasty.
It is.
That's what makes Yarborough such an amazing option. So I guess we should look at something that like people won't totally be on just to get an idea. So maybe like Flaherty Bumgarner will be like popular but not popular.
Yeah.
Comes at it from a different sort of direction. Yeah, again, like you get to the Indians with Hayward, Bogarts, and Jace Peterson. Red Sox with like good shit. Yeah, man, it's. I love this. This is the most fun part of it all.
Yeah, this is gonna be. It'll be fun making lineups for sure.
Yep. Tonight's the first night I'm gonna get the Panda in at least one lineup. Pumped for that. Oddly enough, I watched a Vine of Panda sliding into home really awkwardly like a couple years ago today in my time hop. So.
God.
All right, anybody? Any other questions? Otherwise, we are going to get out of here. I'll give you guys 30 seconds.
Stephen Wright, yeah, I mean, I think he's fine for GPPs. You just never know. So I'm not, like what I was saying is I don't really want to act like I know whether or not the knuckleball is going to be good tonight or not.
Right. If he goes 9 innings, it's going to be awesome, you know?
You saw R.A. Dickey do it for a whole season and win the Cy Young, but you just never know.
Yeah. I think we're going to be done now. Nope, Makad says wait. We'll type faster.
Catcher besides Posey. Let's look.
Yeah, I can handle that. Wilson Contreras.
Yeah.
Molina.
Manny Pena. I like Pena against Quintana.
Yeah, you're in a minority on that one.
I like it.
Alex Avila, I guess, for somebody that's not going to be owned.
Yeah, Avila's been just awful this year, but he should hit righties hard.
What should I put Dirty Dicks on? So it's kind of tropical, so I think like, chicken or pork is your best bet. So maybe like a pork stir fry or something. This is the Awesemo.com cooking live stream starting at 10:20 Eastern.
There we go.
Alrighty, guys. We're going to get out of here. Best of luck tonight. Check out Spotlight Hitters and Pitchers and Stacks. Basketball is done. Hockey is done. It's just all baseball. Stay tuned for some World Cup content. Chris and I will be back tonight for a live stream starting at 6 Eastern. So come check that out. Jake, do you have anything you need to add?
Oh, Spotlight Pitchers is out. Check out for the night shift tonight, per usual. Should be a fun slate, so tune into the live stream with Chris and Josh.
There you go, people. Come check out our home run picks tonight, and best of luck in everything you do. Adios. Have a good Monday.